the host with the motherfucking most. You
really. How y'all doing, man? We in a pandemic and we all fucking in it. Welcome your ass to the motherfucking show. Did Trump do his best? Let's see. Let's listen to this. This is funny.
Nobody knows the system better than me. Which is why I alone can fix it.
The powers of the president are very substantial and will not be questioned.
Iran is a different place than when I took over. When I took over the United States, when I took over our military, we didn't have ammunition. When somebody's the president of the United States, the authority is total. And that's the way it's got to be.
Yeah. The authority is total. American lives are at risk. That he wants total supremacy. Trump, the motherfucker you voted for.
Whatever. David Remnick, I love reading. I love reading what you wrote on election night because it was so prescient. This is what David posted at 2 a.m. election night. The election of Donald Trump to the presidency is nothing less than a tragedy for the American Republic, a tragedy for the Constitution, and a triumph for the forces at home and abroad of nativism, authoritarianism, misogyny, and racism. Trump's shocking victory, I just have to keep reading it. His ascension to the presidency is a sickening event in the history of the United States and liberal democracy.
We got a businessman as president. He had to be brief him.
David, of course, I'm always Pollyannish. I run around telling everybody that everything's going to be okay. Usually it is, but I will say you nailed it on election night, and now you're calling this a pre-existing condition. This is a guy we could have put in clips where the guy says several times, "Oh, Article 2 gives me absolute power."
You got absolute power over a lot of dead people, right? A lot of chaos is going to happen. A pandemic, and you and me all in it, but he's worried about power.
It's a completely ignorant view of power. He doesn't know the system better than anybody that's ever sat in the Oval Office.
Bad damn.
Well, I think when he used to say that I know this, that he knew the tax.
The tax system. Y'all go round.
Those this whole episode was elected. White House. Trump.
You know, but Obama. Oh, Michelle. But she lost. Shit.
And that
Be hook up, hit.
including national emergencies. And at one point, he said to Trump, you know, I have this woman, Lisa Monaco, who's my, Homeland Security person, and they call her Dr. Doom because she comes to me with the most inconvenient information and doesn't sugarcoat it and forces me to look reality in the eye.
We got a pandemic on the horizon and shit. You need to listen. But what Trump do? Fire. Goddamn.
And Trump jokingly, who spent most of the encounter talking about not listening to any of these important briefings, finally said, yeah, maybe I will hire somebody like Lisa Monaco, some sort of my own Dr. Doom who'll tell it to me straight. And of course he did not. Being contradicted yesterday. And he reminds me of my, years covering the Soviet Union.
God.
In the worst sense.
You hear that? Said Trump is a dictatorship. Stalin, goddamn. Trump, whoo, shit. We in a pandemic, and me and you all in it.
It is a chilling thing to witness.
And in fact, really all we heard from Dr. Fauci yesterday, it seemed his primary purpose for being there was to come out and apologize for something he'd said the day before in an interview where he said, yeah, we probably should have put in social distancing a month earlier than we did. He had to go.
Duh. We learned from 1918, coming from Philadelphia, right? That parade. Right? Trump.
Yesterday and say that was a poor choice of words. I shouldn't have answered a hypothetical question. Then he stepped aside and President Trump took over for 2 hours. Gene Robinson, Joe talked about.
That motherfucker talked for 2 goddamn hours.
The president violating everything he learned in his constitutional law class. You really only have to go to middle school history and study the American Revolution to know that the president is wrong about that. Maybe get a ticket to Hamilton, something like that. Anything
you hear that shit? That motherfucker said a ticket to Hamilton. God damn, that made me fucking laugh and shit. A ticket to Hamilton. God damn.
It's why we fought the revolution. So we didn't have a king with executive authority over everything.
Dude said brilliant.
The words, I shouldn't have answered a hypothetical question. Then he stepped aside and President Trump took over for 2 hours. Gene Robinson, Joe talked about the president violating everything he learned in his constitutional law class. You really only have to go to middle school history and study the American Revolution to know that the president is.
Middle school, woo, cooking, right? White folks vicious on each other because we going through a pandemic and me and you all in it.
Wrong about that. Maybe get a ticket to Hamilton, something like that.
Ticket to Hamilton. God damn.
That's why we fought the revolution. So we didn't have a king with executive authority over everything. But he's talking now about his sole power to open the government, whatever that means from the federal level, as we've been past the president because they know they have to. They know the schools and did all.
And Trump don't want no responsibility when shit go wrong and shit. He want to blame a governor instead of taking some responsibility. Ooh, I tell you, man, who you want back? You want back which one? Who you want back? You want back Clinton, right? Bush, right? Who you want on the case? Oh, Obama, tell me that shit.
All the things that they did, all the measures they took, and they will be the ones to open them. They know the president's wrong. They don't have time for that 2-hour news briefing. They're moving ahead without him.
Still tickled. He's still tickled off that Hamilton. That was a punchline. That was a tiger uppercut.
I assume the governors were not watching that dumpster fire of an appearance by the
dumpster fire. Listen to the language. Dumpster fire. God damn. Let's get to the polls. Just give me 1 second while I twist this weed up. Right? Did y'all see Obama?
Through one of our darkest times. And I know he'll survive.
Joe actually not need that. Trump went over there to that shit. Now he got to kiss some yellow ass. I need masks for my people. Right?
Put the American people's interests above their own. Now, Joe would be a better candidate for having run the gauntlet of primaries and caucuses alongside one of the most impressive Democratic fields ever. Each of our candidates were talented and decent, with a track record of accomplishment, smart ideas, and serious visions for the future. And that's certainly true of the candidate who made it far. Bernie's an American original, a man who has devoted his life to giving voice to working people's hopes, dreams, and frustrations. He and I haven't always agreed on everything, but we've always shared a conviction.
I know both of y'all agreed on this. Trump's a dumbass. Economy. Trump damn near destroyed the economy. In the words of the 48 Laws of Power, Trump made a blunder. He made a fucking blunder. He was greedy. He was knee-deep in some pussy and didn't know when to pull out.
We have to make America a fairer, more... We both know that nothing is more powerful than millions of voices calling for change. And the ideas he's championed. The end...
Change. Shit, that's... Because you're locked coming in the fall. I don't know. Agent Orange. He's getting off. Is he winning? I see the
West Coast are looking past the president because they know they have to. They know they're the ones who implemented these shutdowns, who closed the schools and did all the things that they did, all the measures they took, and they will be the ones to open them. They know the president's wrong. They don't have time for that 2-hour news briefing. They're moving ahead without him.
Facts.
Yeah.
Look, they're laughing. Elected again? I doubt it. Those numbers are looking
fire of a
dumpster fire. Dumpster fire. Cooking. Because they got shit to do. They got real important decisions to make. Not just one person saying, I'm going to reopen the country and shit. China are having a little more outbreaks after opening up. The second round. Let's get it.
Last week, but now more places inside China are starting a second round of lockdowns. A woman in Wuhan saw her husband.
Second round of lockdown. Won't let me out. This is crazy. We are living through a pandemic, and we all in it. Get in the comment section, man. What do y'all think about Trump? Y'all think Trump does an excellent job? Let me look at the Trump polls on coronavirus. Oh, that was 3 weeks. Here we go.
coronavirus pandemic continues, an increasing number of Americans are not happy about the way President released this morning. 52% of people think the president is doing a bad job handling the outbreak. That means for the first time, more people disapprove of the president's strategy than approve of it. And Tracy is joining us now from the White House. Ben, we've seen increasingly the president has come under attack, criticism by generally safe news organizations. For example, the Wall Street Journal editorial board saying that his briefings are running long and they are more of a campaign rally than actually providing information to the American people. And the president has continued to indicate that he wants the country to open up sooner rather than later. During the briefing yesterday, he was asked about opening up the country when there isn't enough testing, there isn't adequate testing. The reporter asked the question, should you not have testing in place before you open up the country? The president said no. So now we've seen this poll.
The White House has not responded to this poll in particular. The president does his base. But in terms of the data in the poll, let's start with Americans overall, about 51% believe this. But two things, so let's go through those.
Let's get it.
A vast majority of Americans who think he's handling the resources that they need. 78% of these people say overall they don't trust the president's judgment. And 72% say coronavirus is not being contained. Now keep in mind, those are numbers based on people who overall think the president is doing a bad job. Those who think he's doing a good job, we should note the numbers are not particularly high, but they are over 50%.
People do not trust the president. Who do they trust?
Well, this might not be surprising, but people do trust medical experts. They want to hear from people who have subject matter expertise when it comes to these things, because we are talking about life and death. So,
wow, shit, you know what I'm saying? Why can't we have that in the black community, the black conscious community, right? Trained professionals.
So the medical experts get the source, and this might not be surprising either. President Trump is not considered. In fact, the number that the president gets is 37% of Americans say they trust him for medical advice.
37%? Shit.
Has not stopped the president from giving out medical advice on television. At these briefings, he's often touted certain drugs.
This dude still shaking hands and ain't got no goddamn mask on. I'm just saying.
The podium telling people what drugs they should take and in what quantities. But just 37% of Americans say they actually trust him for that kind of advice.
So, Ben, our polling team also spoke with people.
Trust the medical professionals, 86%. CDC, 78%. Trump, 37%. You know goddamn well you ain't trusting that Trump with your motherfucking life, and we going through a pandemic, me and you all in it. Look, get in the comment section, express your motherfucking hate. I'm your host with the most. This is the Ass Kicking Supreme 13 channel. Y'all have a good one. Be safe. Wash your hands. Give a person 10 feet. Practice that social distancing.